Hey, how's it going YouTube? This is your boy Chosen and welcome back to today's discussion video. So last week I made a video talking about why I believe the legendary Sannin could make their return to the series in a more relevant way, and in that part of the video where I was talking about Tsunade, I brought up a quote in chapter 35 where Mitsuki talks about how Orochimaru, his parent, apparently somehow knows that there is more to the history of the Byakugou seal. Not what the details actually are, but just the fact that there is more to it than what we were presented with in Shippuden. So before we get right into all the theories and whatnot, let's do a quick little history lesson and explain what exactly is the Byakugou seal, being the mark on Sakura and Tsunade's forehead. The Byakugou seal was brought upon the franchise in a weird way, and that's mainly due to the fact that Kishimoto never explains the seal properly in one sitting. It's something you gotta understand as you go on with the series, literally to even this day, because it keeps getting expanded on. Basically, the Byakugou is a seal where only those who possess fanatic levels of chakra control can even achieve, as it allows the user to store any unnecessary chakra they feel like they don't need into it. In part 1, it made it seem like Tsunade was the one who invented it, but this was completely changed as it was revealed to be a seal dating all the way back to the Sage of Six Paths, assuming that he himself at one time, post Kaguya, might have possessed this seal. Just like I said, the seal allows its user to store up a shit ton, and I mean a shit ton of chakra, so much that Tsunade is able to perform an eternal transformation from part 1 Naruto up until now in Boruto. And even Obito himself said that one of Naruto's Six Path clones didn't possess enough chakra to help him find Sasuke, but Sakura did, due to the vast amounts of chakra she held within that seal. It's safe to say Sakura receiving this buff made her way stronger than what she was capable of before, especially if you factor in her durability. She could take a stab wound from Madara and be completely fine seconds later due to her performing the creation rebirth technique, which basically is a self-regeneration jutsu that speeds up the healing process it would normally take for any regular person after receiving an injury. That's basically a summed up version of the seal. Everything important about it at least has just been explained. Now look back to chapter 35 with Mitsuki, right? This is what I meant when I said the seal is weird, because it just keeps getting expanded on and never had a real proper introduction, because when it was introduced with Tsunade, it got expanded on a lot more in the war arc and apparently now in Boruto. There's, and I quote, lengthy history surrounding the Byakugou no Jutsu. There's a lot about it that is still not yet understood. Let me just start by saying that the fact that this seal is already pretty overpowered on its own and there's still more to it that we don't know yet is pretty crazy. So what is this history and connection to the Karma seal? Well, obviously the first connection we can make is that the Karma and Byakugou clearly both belong and originated from the Otsutsuki clan. Sakura already told us that it dates back to the Sage of Six Paths. Let's compare their abilities. The Byakugou seal allows one to store up chakra to a single point and unleash it whenever they please for whatever they want, whether that's through ninjutsu or taijutsu. A special ability they are also able to perform is the creation rebirth technique, which speeds up one's healing process exponentially. Users of the Byakugou seal are also able to share their massive chakra within the seal onto others like Sakura did with Obito. Now as for the Karma seal, well, it's a seal that grants its user the ability to absorb ninjutsu and perform space-time ninjutsu like opening up portals and whatnot. Two completely different things when it comes down to how they work. Here's the thing about the Karma seal. It isn't something any mortal should be proud to possess. It's a mark placed by the Otsutsuki clan in order to resurrect themselves through that marked being when they are sacrificed for the divine tree. What if with the Byakugou seal it was created by hagoromo that also possesses a secondary feature which is currently unknown to us, which that it allows the user to counter the effects of the Karma seal. We know how hagoromo does not approve of his clan's ill intentions, and we can all agree that hagoromo is definitely one of the gods of the universe. I don't doubt that he knew about his clan's ability to place seals on people in hopes of being resurrected when they die, basically granting them eternal life. Hagoromo could have learned about this and created the seal, which we know was never mentioned about before he and Hamura fought Kaguya. Maybe after his battle with Kaguya, he created the seal in hopes that if one day more members were to invade Earth and place these markings, humanity would have a way to counter. Now of course this theory could have its flaws. When Hagoromo was speaking to Naruto and the team, he saw Sakura possess the seal but didn't say anything. Well, the thing about the Otsutsuki clan in Shippuden and Boruto is that the origin of the Otsutsuki clan was expanded on a lot. In Shippuden we heard nothing of Ishiki when Kage came down to Earth, but now all of a sudden she apparently traveled in pairs with him to take Earth's entire energy source. And to be fair, the Byakugou seal's true history was never properly explained by Kishimoto, like not once. So for my theory to come true, it's not at all a retcon, as we literally don't even know what the truth is behind it. But it's clear that its history will eventually be revealed to us through Tsunade or Orochimaru. Now if this does come true in some way, the Byakugou seal does become an important piece to the story. What does this mean for Tsunade, Sakura, and even Boruto? Well, I don't know how involved Kishimoto wants to make them with the main cast, cause if the seal does end up being a counter, does this mean Sakura essentially does possess the hidden ability to save Boruto? Well, yeah. Maybe. Again, it all depends on how involved Kishimoto wants to make her and Tsunade in the story. But let's look at the opening scene of Boruto episode 1. For some reason, years later, Momoshiki hasn't taken control or resurrected himself through Boruto. And we know based off of the arc we are in the manga, Momoshiki is about 60 to 80% through. What if the team is able to figure out the connection of the seal through Tsunade? Then have Sakura execute whatever plan they come up with to stop Momoshiki's process. And that's why Boruto still has the karma seal in the time skip. Of course, this will all most likely take place in the time skip. I don't literally mean as soon as they return from the dimension they are in, they're gonna go straight to Tsunade. No. In part 1, all the way through Shippuden, Sakura has been part of the main cast, whether you want to admit it or not. It's true. Yet for some reason, only Naruto and Sasuke were the only ones out of Team 7 who stayed relevant. Like Kakashi hasn't even been mentioned in the manga, and he's a fan favorite. And now with Kodachi a while ago hinting at Kakashi playing a bigger role to the story, and with Naruto, depending on his situation, might have to rather step down as Kage or is dead, this most likely means Kakashi is coming back to the role as Kage, and with Sakura and her Byakugou seal being hinted at and having a strong connection to Boruto's karma seal, which we know both originated from the Otsutsuki clan, this could also mean Sakura is now going to be more involved with the story, along with Tsunade of course. I think when it comes down to understanding the history of the seal, it's going to be brought about by Tsunade or Orochimaru, or maybe both, who knows. But the manga already hinted at the team having to pay a visit to Tsunade to ask about his backstory, so we know what's gonna happen. But anyways guys, that's going to do for today. Let me know what you guys think. Do you think Sakura possesses some kind of hidden feature that could stop Boruto's karma process? And what do you think the connection is between the Byakugou and karma seal? Thank you guys for watching all the way until the end, and I'll catch you on the next one.